Hey, Brambro back with some Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. It's not exactly new to the channel, but we haven't done any Dreadnoughts in a while. Folks who have been around the channel for a little while know that several months ago I had a ton of UAD content on here. It's still up, but just kind of reached a point where it wasn't so much that I lost interest in the game. I didn't. More, I put up, I don't know, something like 8, 9 series and just did, Britain and Germany to death at that stage of the game. And so I just thought I'd just put it aside for a little while, let some more updates come out, and let the game evolve a little bit. And wow, it certainly has. We went, since I last posted anything, we went through 1.05, which added quite a bit to the game, and now we're in the 1.06 beta. And between those two, there's been a lot added to the game, and so here we are, and I'm going to do a run here, and I'm in the 1.06 beta. And we're at a stage now where the campaign just continues on through War and Peace. You may have multiple wars during the campaign and different opponents, today's allies, tomorrow's foe, and that sort of thing. And I'm really looking forward to getting back into it. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm not familiar with. And so, well, without any further ado, let's get into this. And I'm starting it in 1910, not 1890. So it's going to be a 40-year vice a 60-year. But we'll see what happens after that. And Italy is one of the new nations, or new to me anyway. And yeah, let's get into it. Hope you enjoy the video. Okay, here we are with the new Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts campaign. And let's get right into it. Let's see here. We're going to do... I want to do one of the newer nations, so let's go with the Italian Empire. I don't want to start in 1890. We'll go 1910. I'm a little rusty at the game, and I know that there's a lot of new stuff in it since I last played. We're in the 1.06 beta now, and I last played, I think, in 1.04 back in the January-February timeframe. So yeah, I'm going to go normal for this run. We'll keep this historical, and I'm gonna start with the auto-generated fleet, and the idea being, I mean, it's a little bit of role play, but we're taking command as the Navy Minister or the top admiral of the Italian Navy, and we kind of come into this job inheriting the fleet that we got to do something with. Hopefully the auto generator is at least somewhat kind to us if we get into an early war. All right. And part of our early challenge will be going through those auto-generated fleet and figuring out what's kind of semi-serviceable, what can be kind of salvaged or what have you with a little bit of refit, and what just needs to be junked and replaced as soon as possible. And hopefully it's not all 5 ship types at once, Okay, well, that was quite a bit of load screen as it went through and calculated all the tech and everything up to 1910. All right, let's see what we got here. Bunch of other nations' naval activities here. I like that they have this little scroll now in this message window that used to not be there. All right, we have Unrest 0, Naval Prestige 2. I think that's pretty standard for start. 27 ships, 3 battleships, 5 battle cruisers, 6 CAs, 5 CLs, 8 destroyers. So we're kind of fairly well balanced across all the ship classes. That's a lot of battle cruisers. And we're building 9 more. A battleship, 2 CAs, 2 CLs, and more destroyers under construction. Nothing refit. Everybody starts average, I'm sure. We can build up to 34,000 ton ships. That seems pretty good for 1910. Let's have a look and see what our tension situation is here. Okay, it looks like we're great buddies with Austria-Hungary. That seems a little weird, but okay. To the point of being allied, probably, or soon to get an alliance event. And pretty neutral with everybody else. Okay. And then what are the likely... Okay, it looks like France is going to throw down with Germany and Austria pretty much any time. And same with the Brits. Okay. Yeah, so this is shaping up that Britain and France are going to go at it with versus Germany and Austria pretty much any moment, within a month or two probably of the game starting. And it's kind of looking like, maybe not with Germany, but it's kind of looking like Italy is trending toward coming in on the German-Austrian side. All of which means we are most likely, our most likely near to mid-term opponent is probably France, who have 38 ships and building 9. So they're quite a ways ahead of us in both fleet size and economy. Okay. Finances. Just out of curiosity, let's just see what is the... I'm not building anything. That's not what I meant. Let's just see what is the biggest ship we can build right now, tech-wise. Dreadnought 2, maxed out at 25,000 tons. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. So the biggest we can build right now is 25,000 tons, and we have a 34,000 ton shipyard capacity. So we've got some room to, we can build any hull that we have access to, and we've got, as new hulls come online, we've got some shipyard room to play with right now. The point being, I don't feel like I need to start working on the shipyard capacity just yet. Okay. So, we're in peacetime. It may not be for very long, but I think we should be prioritizing tech. Let's bring that up to about, yeah, about that. We do want to train our crews. Let's bring crew training up to at least 50 or, well, you can't see the percentage because the tooltip keeps, okay. All right. Research. I've never been a big believer in using these priorities because it says free priorities, but it isn't really. You know, if I were to prioritize hull construction, well, hold on, let's get, okay, so there's control station here and there's hull strengthening here. So if I go and decide I am going to prioritize hull strengthening, 5 months, 9 months. Okay, so I gain here, but I lose here. You use these priority things, and yeah, your designated 1, 2, or 3 they will go faster, but everything else slows down, and eventually you need it all. I usually don't use these for that reason. I'd rather just get the across the board even progress. What are we close on? Hull strengthening is just a few months away, and that's a pretty good one. Yeah. And we'll actually get quite a few more hulls from that, including Battleship 1. Somehow we get Battleship 1 and also Battleship 1 gets obsolete. That doesn't make much sense, but okay. What else we got within the next year? Turret mechanisms. Okay, that's good. Getting another big gun pretty soon. Doesn't tell us which one, but oh yeah, it does. Okay, so we have up through Mark III 13-inch. So that's pretty good. And we're soon going to unlock Mark I 14-inch. I doubt I'll use it at Mark I, but okay, good. Okay, hull strapping is what we're getting next, actually. And that'll open up Dreadnought 3. Okay, that makes more sense. Apparently we're ahead. We're going to have this in a few months in 1910. It's considered a 1914 benchmark tech. If I am reading that correctly. Pretty close to capital ship towers, control station, torpedo tubes. Very close to triple torpedo tubes for torpedo boats, destroyers, and light cruisers. Okay, so I probably don't want to do a light cruiser or destroyer design for the next couple months. We'll wait until this unlocks. Looks like we're pretty close to some kind of torpedo propulsion. Steam gas torpedoes. All right. So things are looking pretty good real soon for having a pretty good torpedo capability. We want to hold off on torpedo focused ships for just a couple of months as far as designing new ones. Okay, that's enough of that on research. Now, what have we been given here? Okay, our battleships, the San Giuseppe class. .4-inch guns, 20 knots. Standard bulkheads. Forward weight offset, not a fan of that. From what I understand of the way things are now in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, these pitch and roll numbers actually aren't all that terrible. Okay, just with a real quick look here, I think this is something that we can kind of live with. Main belt, almost 13 inches. Flash fire chance 109%. Oh my goodness. Why it? How did? Oh my! I was about to say this looks like a design we can live with. I don't know about that. Well, this says 80 point, which is still enormously high. Did it get skimped on barbettes? Barbette 1, well, that's part of the problem. Heavy shells, increased. Well, that's a proportion. I don't think that's. Yeah, we're at standard amount of ammo. The increased HE is proportion of HE to AP. Okay, Dunite, Cordite 2, Electrohydraulic 1, turrets. Man. Okay. Well, since we're in the screen, what does our battlecruiser look like? That's a lot of guns. That's a lot of guns. A whole bunch of 10.5-inch guns. Wow. A whole bunch of 7.7 inch guns. 16 7.7 inch guns. Goodness. That's a pretty big ship too. 27,000 tons. Yeah, I don't know. What kind of speed we got? 29 knots, all right. Seems like decent armor for a battle cruiser. It's a pretty thick main deck. Certainly doesn't look as bad for flash fire. We've actually got more of these than we do the battleships. We have 5 of these things. Pitch and roll don't look too bad. Got a little bit of forward weight offset, it looks like. Okay. Much better barbette protection. That probably has a lot to do with the flash fire being a lot better. I wonder I'm kind of thinking about maybe if we just went into the battleship and just did one change from barbette 1 to barbette 3. I wonder how big a change that would make. Well, for one thing, we don't have to wait for it. And actually, it wouldn't bring it down all that much. Okay. Alright, never mind. Let's look at our heavy cruiser, or our armored cruiser. 7.2-inch guns, not many of them. But a whole bunch of 6-inch. Okay. 26.5 knots. Many bulkheads, okay. Croup 3, barbette 3. Seems to be kind of on the low end for flash fire chance in the current setup. this used to, at one time not that long ago, this would have been just a terrible number, but I'm getting the idea that in the current way of ship design, this may not be all that terribly bad. That's quite a bit of weight offset. Okay. Where's the engine efficiency used to be down here at the bottom. Where's engine efficiency now? Wow, it's up here. Okay, 100%. Okay, let's look at our light cruiser. Six-inch guns, 6.6-inch guns. 10 4-inch guns. Okay, that thing is decently armed, I think. It's quite a bit of forward weight offset. .4 engine efficiency. Yeah. Well, it's 32 knots. It's not going to accelerate up to 32 knots very well. Pretty low flash fire chance, I think. It's the lowest of any ship we've looked at so far. Group 1, barbette 3. Standard bulkheads. Seems to be fairly well armored for a light cruiser. Yeah, 4.5-inch main deck on a light cruiser. It's fast. Seems to be well armored. Seems to be decently gunned. Right. Let's have a look at our destroyer. Okay, we got a double launcher on either side. Not much flash fire chance. Oh, look at that pitch and roll. Of course, it is a destroyer, so of course it's going to pitch and roll a lot. 100 longitudinal weight offset. Okay. Well, you may as well just take the guns off, because they ain't going to hit nothing. I mean, so, okay. So our destroyers are just torpedo delivery systems only. All these guns are just worthless. Got a 4-inch gun, 4 3-inch guns. but she's going to be bobbing like a cork so much. There, then yeah. Oh man, that is miserable. I may just delete all of these. I don't know. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking these are kind of okay, mostly. Um, the class that just needs to be replaced immediately is actually the least important class, the destroyers, and it'll be the least expensive to come up with a new class and get them fielded. Right. So let's look and sort it by class here. Okay, we've got 3 battleships with 1 more building, 13 months out. Fine, let it complete. I don't feel the need to have 5 battlecruisers. Okay, 2 more heavy cruisers coming, 8 months out. 2 more light cruisers coming, 8 and 10 months out. And we're about to finish more of these horrific destroyers. Okay, these are only 1 month away. We'll go ahead and finish those. But even 4 months out, 4 times 6, that's 2.4. That's $5 million we're going to spend between now and completion on these two, and I just don't want them. I'm going to scrap these two. I usually don't build a lot of destroyers anyway. Ton for ton, counterintuitively, destroyers are actually on a per ton basis typically by far the most expensive per ton ship of any of them. So I usually don't build a whole lot of them. This is going to give us 10 of these, but I want to get rid of these all fairly soon anyway. You know what? I'm going to scrap these too. Now they do have a good torpedo capability, but I like kind of gunnery focused destroyers because they typically get in these battles where they're trying to tear up a bunch of transports, and so I like for them to be well armed in guns, which these kind of are. Their armament isn't the issue. The issue is that their stability is so bad that they're not going to hit anything with those guns. All right. Need to make sure that we do that. Got to keep that thing checked. Got to remember to do that every time I load in too. All right, let's go back to finances. Should have freed up a little bit of money there. And let's go ahead and we've got a little bit of money here. Let's bump up our transports a little bit. That will grow, that will increase our economic growth, which will increase our GDP, which will increase our naval budget. Gonna make the government happy. Oh, back to the fleet. Everything is on limited. I don't know exactly what, I know what embeing is, I know what sea control, I don't know what, I guess limited is just kind of a happy medium between the two. In which case, I would assume that limited is less expensive than sea control, but more expensive than in being. Now let's just see that. No. In being is more expensive than limited. And I'm sure sea control must be the most expensive of all. And it is. Okay, limited is what we want. Is everything limited? Yes. Okay. Guess I need to read up on that. Is it in the... It's got to be somewhere in here, right? Is it in campaign missions? Nope. In being commands to operate near support. See, okay. I guess they haven't added what limited means to this page. Okay. I guess off camera I need to go kind of peruse the Steam discussions. If anyone's got just a real quick summation, like a 1 or 2 sentence of what limited means, vice, in being, and pop it in the comments, I would greatly appreciate that. What I do know is that limited is the least expensive, which it means that's what I want now in peacetime. Okay. So we're just going to let these, ships finish, and we'll just pop through a couple months here and see how things develop politically. Oh, game's thinking a lot on this turn already. We'll also pop through and, yeah, as I mentioned, looking at the research, even if I want to do a new destroyer class, I want to wait until we get those torp technologies. I like the gun style destroyer, but you got to have torpedoes on a destroyer, and if we got to have them, let's get those torpedo techs on for the, and we'll put one of those triple launchers on it. Okay, looks like, oh, our relations are dropping with Austria. We got those Mark 1 14-inch guns, okay. All these various, I'm not going to try to read through all those. Various people getting angry with each other throughout Europe is the summary there. Okay, Austria completes a couple ships. France completes a couple of armored cruisers, heavy cruisers. We scrapped some ships, yeah, I knew that. Okay. Relations continue to drop with Austria. Interesting. Got our triple torpedo launcher. Okay. France got the same tech. England completes a bunch of ships. Germany completes a bunch of ships. Okay, relations continuing the drop with Austria in both west and east Med. All right. Oh wow, that dropped a ton real fast. Okay, so before things actually got running, it looked like we were buddies with Austria. We ain't buddies with Austria. We're not really buddies with anybody. Okay. So this is looking more like we're edging toward the Entente, the British-French side. We're not buddies with them, but things are deteriorating with Austria. So, Austria, 20 ships, building 7. We're at 27 and building 5. We don't know exactly what their makeup is. If they go to war, we can see it, but right now we cannot. They've got a heck of a growth, though. And their GDP is actually bigger than ours. And they got a bigger naval budget. Huh. Relations continue to deteriorate. Okay, so our government wants to organize a regatta, promote its mutual understanding at sea. What do I think about that? Well, we can spend a bunch of money, which we've got a bunch of money, and that will help prestige, unrest, and relations with the Brits and the French. Okay. The waste of money route would be we get some money, we lose prestige, and we get unrest. Yeah, we'll do the regatta. I think we can afford that with our naval surplus. And so apparently we have this regatta, and France and Austria decide to go to war right in the middle of it. Okay. And we're not going to war, but we just took a huge hit to relations with Austria. So things are coming to a head. We're not in it yet, but we're going to get pulled in. Oh, and France goes to war with Germany. And there, okay, there's our torpedo tech. Okay. So now let's look at politics, and yeah. Okay, so we're headed toward war with Germany, well, Austria, and because of Austria, and probably Germany too at some point. Obviously, Germany and Britain are the two big dogs, and I certainly would not want to go to war with Germany on our own. But with this whole alliance thing, our bailiwick is the Med, and uh, Germany will have its hands full with Britain and probably France. So we really kind of need to focus on preparing for a war with Austria-Hungary. And in our alliance, I think, we would. I mean, it's kind of role playing. I'm not talking about game mechanics, but I think that in that kind of a situation, it would Italy. We would be the ones expected to do most of the work against the Austro-Hungary side in the Med, while they focus on Germany. Well, France will probably kind of be in both theaters, naval theaters. Okay, so what I think we'll do is, now that we have those two techs, I am going to design a new destroyer class to replace these that I'm not a big fan of. Okay. Destroyer. And maybe I'll find out that just the nature of this hull is that maybe the destroyer we have isn't all that bad. We'll see. Yeah, max tonnage there, which I guess, yeah. I think that's it. Okay, I do want the guns, therefore I want the best tower I can get. See if we can get away with just kind of the lower funnel. I'm just kind of plopping stuff right now. Get all the main things on. Ooh. Can we get away with 2 guns forward? 5-inch mate, that's probably too ambitious. Okay, let's go with a center line triple torpedo launcher. Okay, so this is the basics, and we have got a huge aft weight offset. So let's try to squeeze this funnel forward as far forward as we can. That didn't do very much. Let's move this launcher. Okay, now we've actually got a little bit of forward offset. Let's move this gun back a little bit. Wow, that's a huge amount of offset from... I guess that tower just doesn't weigh very much. Huh. Okay. I don't think we need maximum bulkheads. Let's go with mini. Let's get a little bit of speed on these. Let's get a lot of speed on these things. Let's do 35. Alright, let's go with the best funnel. That is not great engine efficiency. I don't really want to do 2 funnels if I don't have to. Looks like I have to. Goodness. Still decent firing arcs for the torpedoes. Oh, I haven't messed with any of this stuff yet. I don't think we need radio. If we were hunting submarines, I'd go for hydro. We're not going to be hunting submarines. Next, let's just go through the... Okay. Well, okay, so that helped a lot with engine efficiency. I didn't look at these yet. That looks better. Turbines, yes. I'm not sure I need 2 funnels now. Yeah, I can live with that. Want the maneuverable. Yeah, let's go. I don't want to spend too much on these. We'll just go with the aux 1. Yeah, shaft, unbalanced rudder. I pretty much go with unbalanced rudder on freaking everything for torpedo avoidance. I'll just do hydraulic. Single bottom, yes. Standard bulkheads, nope. Anti-flood, nope. Max HE, yes. What are choices here? I don't know too much about these new ammo types. I mean, my main target with these things is going to be transports and probably other destroyers. I'm just going to keep it on the nose fuse, partially out of ignorance. Just keep it standard. Keep that. Let's go for an enhanced loading. Do I want fast torpedoes? I think I do. Stay with 18-inch. Okay. Can I shoehorn another gun onto this thing? It's kind of looking like problematic. No, that's not too bad. 1.5 forward weight offset. And our pitch and roll numbers are pretty rough, but they're a heck of a lot better than that other class. Can I scooch this funnel back just a hair? Okay, 0.1%. And I think I can live with that torpedo firing cutout. It's not great. But yeah, I mean, we're firing. I think we can make that work. Got 4 4-inch guns. Still got room for a lot of armor on this thing. Which, you know, armor is not going to protect it against, you know, like a heavy cruiser or a battle cruiser's main armament. It's not going to matter. But for defending against the 4-inch guns that transports are armed with, yeah, let's get a little armor on this thing. Let's go 1.5 and just go. We'll just go 1 inch, kind of all around. Against its expected enemies. Okay. Let's lengthen the guns a little bit. Get it a little bit more range and penetration. 4.5. Well, I've screwed up the forward weight offset a little bit. And we can kind of tweak that with yeah, just give it another 1/10 of an inch aft. That pretty much brought it back. I think we can live with about 80% engine efficiency on these things. Don't need to go get another funnel. I wonder if it's fast enough. Certainly have the tonnage for some more speed. But what's that going to do to our engine efficiency? What if I go 37? Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. I mean, I could scooch things out and make more room, but that's going to mess up the offset, and it's also going to further affect that pitch. Let's dial this back to 36. Okay. No reason not to go maximum now. Yeah, let's make the crew a little bit more comfortable. Okay. Leaving a lot of tonnage on the table, but I've kind of got the gun armament where I want it. I'm happy with this. Save design. And these things are actually a little bit slower than our current destroyers. The Generale Carlo Montanari class. Great. Let's build 8. And what's that do to our budget? Yeah, 10 million. Well, we're actually still positive. Okay. And what port do we want these things in? We're kind of focusing more toward Austria. So we want them in the East Med. Looks like Ancona will be the home port for our new destroyer class. I guess I ought to tell them where to put the other ships too. Toronto is 126, Bari 120. These are all okay. So Bari and Toronto, and I guess Messina. So I know that there's like this new, well, maybe not so new to some of the viewers, but to me, there's this kind of task force where you can put ships out to sea and they have an area of effect around them. So I think in the next episode I'll try to kind of organize these ships a little better in the ports by task groupings, that sort of thing. But I think that will do for this episode, where we've gotten this campaign started off and we're still at peace, but we're kind of got an eye on Austria-Hungary as the country with whom we seem most likely to have to tangle with first. Glad to be back at it in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. If you like what we're doing with the channel, you like the content, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. But at any rate, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.